fun. Yeah, well, you were taking the stairs. That was a good move, man. So I got the athletic wear on. Get those extra steps. Another stair coming out.
Hello everyone, my name is Cassie. I'm going to be your studio tour guide with you this afternoon. Now we are going to be heading out here very shortly. So as you are boarding the tram, do us a favor, slide all the way over to the right hand side, filling in all of those available. Alright folks, we're going to get our tour started. We're going to head out here. As we do, turn and wave to everybody on the left over there. Bye everybody! Bye-bye, we'll see y'all later. So once again, my name is Cassie. I'm going to be your studio tour guide with you this afternoon. We are joined by one of the best drivers in the biz. His name's David. Give it up for David, everybody. We're very, very lucky to have David with us because we have got a lot of ground to cover. Over 400 acres of our movie studio out there with over 110 years of movie making history. That's a whole lot to cover. I can't do it by myself. So please allow me to introduce you to my co-host. You may recognize him as the host of The Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon.
Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide.
Cassie.
And the greatest driver.
David.
They're the best. I love them. Even though
Cassie
owes me $5. I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
That's right, Jimmy. We do have a few safety rules to cover. First, if you need guest assistance or have a medical emergency, if you drop something of value off the side of the tram, or if you have any sound or video issues, reach up and grab the red emergency cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it is safe to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please remain seated. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. The studio is private property, and at any time during the tour you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the cord and remain seated. Please no smoking of any kind during the tour. Be prepared. Our tour today features loud noises, sudden tram movements, fire effects, and many water effects. You want to have your cell phones and cameras out for some great photo opportunities, but keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. Finally, for your safety and for those around you, please do not use selfie sticks while you are on board the tour. Alright folks, with all that information out of the way, we are officially leaving our theme park behind and making our way out into the working movie studio. Right here, Universal Studios Hollywood, this is where all of Universal destinations and experiences got their start. And we opened up right here in the San Fernando Valley on March 15th, 1915. That means this past March, we turned 110 years old. I know, we look really good for our age. Now in that 110 years, we've made well over 8,000 films. You can see a couple examples, some of our favorites over here on your right-hand side as we head through our Universal timeline. But now our founder, Carl Laemmle, Uncle Carl we call him, he had the dream of creating the strangest city in the world. And boy, let me tell you, he succeeded. We are in fact a real city, Universal City. We have our own sheriff station, medical services, zip code, even our own fire station. Take a look over here on your right. This is Fire Station 51. That's not a movie set. That is our real working fire station with our real working firefighters that keep us safe day in and day out. Now we also have a Starbucks, a Coffee Bean, a Hot Topic, a Sephora, a laundromat, a Department of Transportation. So we are in fact a real city. The only difference between our city and yours where you live is that no one lives here. We are completely dedicated to filmmaking. Speaking of, we are now entering the front lot. The front lot is the portion of that over 400 acres where we house the majority of our 36 sound stages and pre- and post-production facilities. Our first soundstage is going to be just over here on your left-hand side. This is soundstage 12 of our largest and most historic. It used to be the home of The Voice. They filmed their first few stages in there. But it was not just the home of The Voice. It was also Frankenstein's Lab, Dracula's Castle, Scarface's Mansion, the Back to the Future Clock Tower, the Jurassic Park Visitor Center, even portions of Millville. And check this out, we even built this whole pool in there for this scene from Couples Retreat. Now that is what a soundstage looks like when it is completely empty. They're essentially just big blank canvases upon which filmmakers can create anything from their wildest dreams or even their worst nightmares. They are soundproof. You won't hear the screams. But now take a look over here on your left-hand side. We're passing by some of our TV sound stages. A couple of these stages do have their elephant doors open. We call the big bay doors on the front the elephant doors. Why? They're big enough we can bring an elephant through there. Now, look through there. You can see the insides of those sound stages. You can see the walls padded, about 4 times thicker than any of the walls you'll find in a regular house. Just going to keep all that sound inside the building and all of our sound outside. These 2 sound stages right here, sound stages 8 and 7, currently being used for season 4 of Bel-Air. That's the dramatic reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Stars Jabari Banks and Ollie Sholaton. You can check it out. Season 3, up to season 3, is streaming on Peacock. That is the NBC Universal streaming platform. They are currently working on season 4. But if you're a horror film fan, soundstage 7 is where they filmed the iconic shower scene from Psycho. But now keep another look on your left here. Soundstage 14, also used for Bel-Air. That is where the Banks Mansion and Bel-Air Academy sets were constructed. It's also where we filmed a couple scenes from Jurassic Park. If you remember the scene where the 2 kids are up in a tree, a big Brachiosaurus comes over, sneezes all over, it was filmed right there inside that stage. But then look just to the left at the parking garage. That parking garage was featured in the Lost World Jurassic Park. So you can see up here, it's the scene where Dr. Ian Malcolm, he's in the mobile lab unit and it's being pushed over the edge of a steep cliff over in the jungle, right? Wrong. That's not a cliff. That mobile lab unit, which was made entirely of plywood, was actually brought up to the top level of that parking garage. We dangled it over the edge, used some CGI and special effects, and made it look like it was in the jungle. Now take a look over here on your right-hand side. We're passing by some of our TV sound stages. You may have noticed in some of those parking spaces, it's set up for Loot. Yes, they are filming new seasons of Loot starring Maya Rudolph inside of sound stages 16 and 17 at the moment. Now over here on your right-hand side, we're also passing by soundstage number 19. Our 11th Best Picture winner, Oppenheimer. All the scenes within the Oval Office were filmed inside soundstage 19. Ted Danson's also been over here for both Mr. Mayor and A Man on the Inside, now streaming on Netflix. But if you look on your left, it's not Ted Danson, it's Ted Drinkin'. It's Ted the Teddy Bear over there from the Ted films and the Ted prequel series, also streaming on Peacock. If you want a great example of what our whole movie studio looks like on camera, I highly recommend checking out the TED series on Peacock. It does a really great job of showcasing all of our sets here as it's used in a TV series. But parents, check it out once the kids have gone to bed. My advice. But now, take another look over here on your left-hand side. We're now passing by our production bungalows, these small beige buildings over here. This is where a lot of the pre-production process is going to happen. Anything that has to happen before you can actually start filming, scheduling, casting, budgeting, even just writing your scripts. We've had some pretty high-profile production companies in here over the years. We've had Monkey Paw Productions, Jordan Peele's company, 7 Bucks, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's company, Amy Pascal's Pascal Pictures. Right there on your left, you'll see a white MP sign by a Wicked balloon. That's Mark Platt Productions. They brought you the Broadway musical Wicked and recently won an Oscar for the movie musical Wicked. Also on your left here, Bungalow 5195. That was the bungalow of Alfred Hitchcock when he was here on the lot doing his Alfred Hitchcock Presents TV series. We worked on films like Vertigo, Psycho, The Birds, and my personal favorite, Rear Window. Also on your left, behind these offices, 2 more of our sound stages. Stage 25, currently home to Lopez vs. Lopez, the show by George Lopez and his real-life daughter, Mayan Lopez. And right next door to them, Stage 26, currently home to St. Denis Medical. They're a newer mockumentary-style comedy series filmed similarly to The Office or Superstore. If you're fans of those shows, I highly recommend checking out St. Denis. It's set in an underfunded Oregon hospital and stars David Alan Grier, Wendy McClendon-Covey, and Allison Tolman. It is a very, very funny show. But now, we are officially leaving our front lot and making our way into our back lot where we have our large-scale exterior sets. We're going to briefly pass by the outside of our Metro sets, our New York sets there on your left. And now, we're going to head over to the jungles of Skull Island.
It's the original King Kong that maybe what the director I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up in the adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you encounter monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universe invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you on the ride. Now we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, just put them in your hand about like you're talking to Skull Island.
That is right, folks. We are about to return to Skull Island. This is bumpy territory, so please remember to remain seated at all times. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle and hold on tightly to your belongings. Get those 3D glasses on. We're back on Skull Island. Congratulations, everyone. You survived your encounter with King Kong in King Kong 360 3D. What did you think about that, everybody? Did you like it? Yeah. Good. I'm glad. It was really expensive. Now, that is, in fact, the world's second largest 3D experience, second largest in the entire world. The screens in there stand at the 40 feet tall and 180 feet long. And it was brought to you by the incredible duo of director Peter Jackson and the team over at Weta Effects, formerly known as Weta Digital. They're a New Zealand-based digital effects company, and they are masters of their craft in CGI, computer-generated imagery. In fact, they have now won over 8 Academy Awards for their work in CGI and special effects.
With a project like the studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions, there's creatures coming at them, they're seeing Kong from this side and the T-Rexes from the other side. Working on a movie, you always know what people are looking straight ahead, looking at the shots they're working on. Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts, because it's one giant shot. This tram that's driving along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. The screen represents where the screen is 10 meters away.
We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
Now we are briefly passing by once again our Metropolitan sets over on your left-hand side. Our large-scale exterior sets made to look like any major metropolitan city in the world. We're also passing by a base camp over here with all of these parked vehicles and the tents. So there is a production setting up, getting ready to begin filming inside of our Metropolitan sets right now. They are operating under an NDA, so I can't tell you what it is. But I do want to point out this base camp over here, because the most important part of filming is what's called craft services, or crafty. That's the food, and that's the food over there. Now, film sets, they can go for 12 to 18 hours. It can be a really long day. So the food is the most important thing. It's going to keep everyone going, give everyone the energy they need to keep going. But now also look on your left. We are now passing by sound stages 30 and 31. This is the current home of The Voice. You can see their emblem down there in the bottom left-hand corner. The Voice is now gearing up to bring us season 27. Take a look.
Hey, what's up, Studio Tour? It's Kelsey Ballerini.
And I am John Legend from The Voice. And we shoot our show right here in Stage 31, one of the newest stages on the line.
These state-of-the-art sound stages allow us to bring our show to life, from the blinds to the lives and everything in between.
Everyone's talking about the new voice coaches, even the new voice coaches.
You see that gorgeous face in here?
Well, I'm just going to put things boys in their place.
Adam's a big favorite. So that's how it's going to be.
The voice, Monday on NBC.
Now I also want to point out that little pond there on your left. Now that pond, we actually call Park Lake, or the Hollywood Ocean. The reason we call a little pond an ocean is because it has been used as the ocean in several TV series and films. If you've seen Gilligan's Island or McHale's Navy, that was the ocean you were looking at the entire time. That was also the Amazon River basin for the creature from the Black Lagoon. Now, the creature from the Black Lagoon is one of Universal's original monster movies. We're the home of the monster movie. We originated them with films like Frankenstein with Boris Karloff, Dracula, Bela Lugosi, The Wolfman, The Invisible Man, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, all of the above. But now, folks, we have something truly exciting. We are able to go inside one of our sound stages today. This is Soundstage 50 here. It is a real working sound stage. It is a permanent set, however. We don't change it production to production. It is always a subway station. That way we can utilize the tracks to come take a look around. Now, a production has been in here recently. That's why you see all of their equipment still set up and ready to go. They actually did us a favor. They kind of set it up in a way so that you can see what it looks like when they are actively filming in here. Since it is an active set, please hold on tightly to your belongings, remain seated, keep your arms tight. Hold on tight, folks. Looks like we're getting a little tremor. special as it's just last month. But now that is a real soundstage. It has been seen in film and television. It's been seen in Beverly Hills Cop 3 with Eddie Murphy and an episode of Bones on the Blue Line starring David Boreanaz. If you check out that episode or Beverly Hills Cop 3, you'll be able to see we utilized that entire attraction, even those special effects in both of those features. But now, I like to remember you're not just here to learn about the movies. You're here on vacation. So it's time we kick back and relax at the beach of Amity Island. Now, I know Amity has a bit of a reputation, so remember, remain seated, keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle, hang on tight. But then, take a look over here on your right hand side. We caught that great white shark, so it's totally chill to come hang out here on the beach. In fact, David is going to pop on the Beach Boys and, hey David, that's not the Beach Boys, that's John Williams. Why are we listening to John who? Oh, that's why. It looks like we have another shark, folks. That's not good. Our diver George is in the water right now. Hey George! Hey George! George, can you hear me? George, there's another shark! Oh boy, he had a lot of guts to get in there with those sharks. Oh, there they are. Not to worry, folks. We're just gonna pull forward to safety here behind the pier. Now, we've put a barrel of bait out there in the water to distract potential sharks. We'll see if it takes it. Oh, it does. It takes it. Oh, it takes the whole pier too. That's the gas line. Well, fire. You know what? This could help. No way that shark's gonna come over here with fire. Oh, never mind. I was wrong. Look out! Well, folks, please allow me to introduce you to Bruce, the mechanical shark from Steven Spielberg's Jaws.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal. They were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the crowd. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on the Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself all envisioned.
And the Jaws attraction was placed here on our lot in 1976, just 1 year after Jaws released. But I want to take us back to 1968, to the very first attraction we ever debuted on our studio tour, our weather demonstration. Now, the great thing about doing this here on our lot is we have complete control over the weather. By pressing a single button, I can trigger rain to come from sprinkler systems up at the top of the roofs, hidden from plain sight. Thunder from speaker systems, lightning from strobe lights. We've got it all just at the touch of a button. And this allows our filmmakers to have complete control over the environment. The second they decide we no longer need the rain, all we gotta do is press this button one more time and the rain will stop. All we gotta do is press the button one more time and the rain will stop. Gotta press the button. Oh no, that's the wrong button. That is our flash flood, the result of thousands of gallons of recycled water being propelled downhill and recycled right back into the water bottles in the theme park. I'm just kidding, I'm a big fat liar. Just like Paul Giamatti in the film, Big Fat Liar. those floodwaters are going to carry us all the way through our old Mexico sets and across the border into the Old West. Welcome to 6 Points. You may recognize our old Western sets from the 9th film by director Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Academy Award winners Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. Or maybe you'll recognize it from Call the Wild with Harrison Ford. This was an old Alaskan mining town. Or maybe it's Saving Mr. Banks, the Disney film about the creation of Mary Poppins. She has several flashbacks in that film of her life in old Australia. This was old Australia. Or maybe you can go all the way back to our classic Westerns. That gives you an idea about what our Western sets looked like when we were filming on them here on the lot. One of our classic Western films. But these are in fact the oldest sets we have here on the lot. When we first opened up in 1915, these are the very first sets we ever debuted. Now, when we first opened up the lot, Westerns were sort of a bread and butter. We were making tons of Western films. We were able to release over 100 in just one calendar year. Considering that back then, feature-length films were about 15 minutes, so it was a little easier to do. But we also had 6 full Western streets that all met in the middle at 6 points, like the spokes of a wagon wheel, hence the name. One of those streets was called Denver Street, and it was famous for our barroom brawls. Take a look at this.
You're just gonna stir things up here. That I am.
How dare you hit that man?
Mine hit the ground first. Mine was tall.
Alright, now you're going to be passing by our Amity Island once more. This is not the real Amity Island. This is not where Jaws was filmed. They filmed out on location in Martha's Vineyard. But what did film here, if you take a look at the boathouse, it says Cabot Cove. That is Cabot Cove, Maine, for all the seasons of Murder, She Wrote, starring the late, great Angela Lansbury. They filmed every season right out there on our Cabot Cove or Amity Island sets there. But then take a look over here on your left-hand side. We're passing by Elm Street. No relation to the Nightmare on Elm Street, just called Elm Street. The scariest thing to film down there was Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties. We also have Will Smith's house from Hancock, Paxton Hall Yoshida's house from Netflix's Never Have I Ever, Boo Radley's house from To Kill a Mockingbird. But then across the street from them, over here on your right, this is Dolly Parton's house from The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, starring Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds. But then, I'm going to invite you to look again on your left. This is something particularly cool. You're going to notice we're passing by the entrance to Colonial Street, another residential set, but it says closed set. That is because they are currently set up for filming down there on a new TV series coming to Peacock called The Burbs, starring Keke Palmer. It's based on the Burbs film with Tom Hanks and Carrie Fisher, and they are utilizing the exact same sets that they used in the film. Pretty cool. But now we are headed up Spielberg Drive. We have worked so much with director Steven Spielberg. I'm going to give him a chance to tell you about how he got his start with Universal.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. This was my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom, and when everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left, and then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because all movies were made on film lots. Today they're made all over the world, on locations, but most of it was focused in those days, in the 60s, on the film lots. So nobody noticed me when I was going around from soundstage to soundstage, and I really felt, in my own young way, I owned the lot and had the most amazing day of my life.
Now take a look on your right and left-hand sides here. We're passing by some of our Universal picture cars. That's what we call any of the vehicles you're going to see up on the big screen in film and TV show, a picture car. On your left, we have vehicles from Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, the Flintstones, The Fast and the Furious, and Transformers. On your right-hand side, we've got some vehicles from Back to the Future, Mr. Bean's Holiday, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and Nope, as well as one of our picture cars from our Halloween Horror Nights. Oh, and one of the vehicles from The Mummy Returns. We don't always have this one out. It's a great one to see when we do. But now all these vehicles are parked out back behind a little family-run business we have on the lot. If anyone needs accommodations tonight, look no further than the Bates Motel. 12 rooms and 12 vacancies, but ignore the Yelp reviews. It's a great place. The showers are to die for. Oh, that's the owner, Norman Bates. Hey, Norman, we were just passing on by. Thought we'd say hi. Norman? Oh, he looks busy. He's probably helping a guest check out. We'll let him do his thing. Oh, I forgot what his thing was. That's not great. While you were filming, that's evidence. Okay. Maybe if we just, remain calm, he won't mind. Hey, Norman. You don't mind that we're just... Oh, he minds. Oh, he really minds. Oh, that's not good. We should get out of here. Oh boy, he's kind of a fast walker. Hey, car 4, please look out. Okay, that was close. That would have been a lot of paperwork. Wow, he's still making eye contact. Okay, I'm gonna look to the left. Why don't we all look to the left? Let's look at his mom's house, actually. Welcome everyone to the Psycho house. The oldest original set still standing here on our lot. Created back in 1959 for the very first Psycho. But now, it's really no wonder that Norman is in such a bad mood. Look at his backyard. It's a disaster. Welcome everyone to the crash site of a Boeing 747 aircraft from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds.
An airplane crash site is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around engaging students.
You forget to sit down and talk about the war. That's on what if the 747 airplane, right? On a big movie. Because it's just something you don't see.
Listen, your collision was okay? Fair close? Robbie, get in. Get in.
Now that aircraft is a real Boeing 747. It was purchased out of an airplane graveyard out in the Mojave Desert for about $60,000. Not too bad if you ask me, $60K for a jumbo jet. But they got it with the shipping and handling. They then spent a little over $200,000 just to get it over here for the set. So it was over $250,000 for this set, used in just the scene you saw on your screens, roughly 4 minutes of screen time. But now we are going to pass from one alien encounter to the next. We're going to visit the sets of Jupiter's Claim from Jordan Peele's latest thriller, Nope.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, the nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Show. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Why? A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. It is smack down in the center of the beautiful
Oh no, you guys hear those sounds? It's really spooky. You're wondering, you're looking around, what's gonna happen? What's gonna jump out at me? Well, the truth is, nothing. If I take the sound effects away, it's not that scary, right? If you bring the sound back in, it's kind of spooky, right? And the reason behind that is No is a master class in sound design and sound effects. Throughout the majority of this film, you never see the antagonist. Not until the last 15 minutes do you actually lay eyes on the alien. Until then, Jordan Peele relies entirely on sound design and sound effects to build suspense, to get you on the edge of your seat, to get you looking, wondering what's going to jump out at you, even though nothing is. Just the power of sound. If you haven't yet seen the film, I highly recommend checking it out. It is streamable on Amazon Prime Video at the moment. But now, I want to invite you to look over here on your right-hand side. Look past these vehicles right here. We have a large concrete basin out there that we call Falls Lake. Now we call it Falls Lake because it's capable of being filled with up to 2.7 million gallons of water so that we can create a small lake right there on our lot. And the large blue screen behind it, the largest freestanding blue screen, it works the same as a green screen, blue screen, green screen, same thing, it just depends what you're filming in front of it. If you were to film 2003's Incredible Hulk, which we did, you would film it in front of a blue screen, otherwise the Hulk would disappear. Take a look on your screens for a couple examples. Now in this scene here, that entire blue sky just painted on the blue screen. All right. Now, I hope you have enjoyed learning about how the movies were made. We want to get you back into the movies, experience them in person on our ride. So we're going to bring you back to the theme park as we do approach the end of our tour. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on board. And actually, thank you to our annual pass holders. If you're not yet an annual pass holder, you can always stop by the Universal box office to find out how to upgrade. Come back and see us again and again. If you haven't yet, make sure you download the Universal Studios Hollywood app on the App Store for all the relevant information you need to have the best day here at Universal Studios Hollywood. You'll find park closing times, which for tonight is 6 p.m. Wait times for rides, show times for shows, mobile food ordering, and information on upcoming events and future attractions. This May 22nd in Orlando, we're opening up Epic Universe. And coming to us next year in 2026 here in Hollywood, we're opening up Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, our new roller coaster.